Well, apparently my body thought that you needed this information as soon as possible because it's almost 8 a.m. and I'm shooting this video out to you guys. Why? Because I need to break out this information because apparently my body thinks I need to be awake and talking to you guys instead of trying to sleep. Now that's not a big deal or anything, it's just kind of interesting because this was the announcement that I can totally be honest with you guys and say that this is something I'm really looking forward to. And ever since last year, when I speculated it was going to come to the event and it was going to be a scare zone or a park-wide scare zone, I was really excited about the possibility this actually could happen. And I would say that I made an announcement in a video last year. I don't exactly remember which video because I wasn't branding my videos like I do this year. I wasn't doing like HHN 24 speculation dash talking about specific things like Dracula Untold or Alien vs. Predator or Ghostbusters or The Exorcist or anything like that. No, I just basically was just writing Halloween Horror Nights speculation and that was it. So I cannot go back and tell you exactly where it was, but I will say there was a point, and if you are regular pop viewers and you have watched these Halloween Horror Nights videos throughout the entire time I've been posting them since last year, obviously, before Halloween Horror Nights 23, you would know that I had this idea a while back of a park-wide street experience where the Purge would take over, and then all of a sudden, like several times a night, there would be the announcement, the Purge siren would go off, and then all of a sudden, whatever was going on in the park at the time would cease, and total chaos would just completely break loose, and you would have characters running at you from every which way. They'd have chainsaws, they'd have crowbars, they'd have baseball bats, and they'd be just there to make your life absolutely miserable. And my idea was, when I was talking about the fact that I thought that the roaming hordes might return this year, I was thinking that what they would do is they would have the Purge happen, and they would have the citizens that were purging kill random characters and random members of the different roaming hordes, and then that person would not have to work the rest of the night because technically they're dead, so that means that they could stop for the evening. And I thought that would be a brilliant idea. And apparently someone's watching my videos, and I know for a fact someone's watching my videos, but I would not believe that it would be exactly like it's going to be, and when I found out this was actually happening, this isn't a Carol Burnett thing, it just kind of happens sometimes. So if you were curious why I rub the underneath of my eyelid, it's not like a signal to anyone. I'm not trying to say push the red button or anything like that right now. No, it's just my face itches for some reason when I start these videos. It's really odd because when I start these videos normally there is some sort of an itch or something, and I'm trying to fight the urge to scratch it, but I really can't. So that happens on live television, folks. That's how it works. So like I said, I was really excited about the potential of this coming to the event, and last year when it didn't, I was like, okay, but I think that there is a reason it should come this year. And when I did my speculation video in January, I said this would be the house in the parade building. And, you know, I was wrong, but there really isn't. Okay, there's two ways to look at this. After watching the second film the other day, and obviously the review's available here on Pop right now, on this playlist actually, if you're watching on the recent videos playlist, or it's on the main page right now, you can check out the fact that if you watch the movie, you would know that there were very much opportunities for a house, if you really want to utilize that, but the quote-unquote arena in the warehouse would work, I guess, but it'd basically just be people shooting airsoft guns at you and walk around like you're trying to run the gauntlet in American Gladiators. So, yeah, probably wouldn't work, but for a scare zone, on the other hand, yes, several elements work on this. So, as I am talking about how excited I am for this, I will make the official announcement that last night at 11 p.m. on the East Coast and 8 p.m. on the West, it was officially announced that we were having yet another share for Halloween Horror Nights this year. And this year would be the second official Scare Zone reveal for Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood. And it would be taking over partially part of the Backlot. Apparently the Backlot's going to be filled this year. It sounds like there's going to be 3 mazes and at least 2 Scare Zones at this point. But of course I can't say anything for sure because we don't know exactly yet. Looks like The Walking Dead's going to be back there, and obviously From Dusk Till Dawn's going to be there, so this is going to complete that group, and it's going to be bringing this Scare Zone, and I'm very happy to say that the streets of New York will soon be taken over as well, which also leads more credibility to the rumor that I keep hearing that Orlando United posted talking about the fact that the rumored geisha Scare Zone that was going to be in Sting Alley is on the chopping block. And it sounds like it's probably not going to happen. Probably for another year. Apparently, rumor has it it's budgeting issues, whatever that means. Given the fact of the rest of the IP lineup, yeah, I can understand where budget would come into play. So, they may not be having anything in Sting Alley this year related to geishas, but I do think Sting Alley will be utilized. But I'll talk about that as I progress. So, as I get around to it, finally, almost 7 minutes into this video, I can say that our next announcement for Halloween Horror Nights this year is the Purge Anarchy. And I am very happy to be able to say this, because I've been wanting this for a long time, and I'm very glad this is going to happen. Now, basically, it's an announcement that was made last night. And it says, once you enter the Purge Anarchy, you'll be lucky to just survive the night. In this unique experience inspired by Universal Pictures' new thriller, turmoil and pandemonium awaits those vulnerable to mass vigilantes in search of new victims. That's exactly what it says on the website. Furthermore, delving into it, this is not a test, says the announcer. She's cool. Serene almost. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Purge sanctioned by the United States government. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. So it will go at Halloween Horror Nights in both Orlando and Hollywood as the sadistic mass felons of the Universal hit horror film The Purge Anarchy descending upon those in attendance in an all-new Scare Zone at America's premier Halloween event. It enjoyed the biggest opening of any horror film this year. Yeah, there was no PA, which thank God for that. And they pushed The Conjuring 2 to next year. So, and same with Sinister 2. So yes, this would be the top grossing horror film of the year. And I don't see a doubt that it's going to stay that way. I don't think As Above, So Below is going to challenge it. I could be wrong, but who knows. I think The Purge is going to be the top grossing one of the year. And it barely made $30 million, and that's bad. And the first one made 32. So it's kind of a drop. But with movies like this, that's understandable. And fans are kind of taken to it, so it'll probably have a nice little shelf life. In not probably any reviews or anything like that, any rewatches, but still, it's going to get people out there. And now this announcement was made, it's probably going to really be easy to get Halloween Horror Nights fans in the door to see what hell is going to be awaiting them come opening night. So, like those trapped on the streets after dark in the film, the guests will be at the mercy of characters on the prowl with brutal intent. They're actually going to bring a combination of both films. That's right, they're going to have both films in the Scare Zone. Face to face, you will go meet with the iconic masked characters from both films. So the creepy face characters in this film, Anarchy, and the original Purge, the President's masks, will obviously be there, and of course their leader, who looks like Garrett Christian Olsen. Now, you will find yourself in the middle of this turmoil and chaos as the Purge is taking place. Everyday citizens transformed into violent psychopaths, chainsaw-wielding paramilitary. There's the chainsaw drill team. It says it right there in bold print, right there. So that's where the CDT is going to be this year. Not at World Expo. They're actually going to be in New York this year. So New York is going to be really congested. because you're going to have everybody walking to and fro. And, of course, right at the front of New York, it sounds like that's probably where From Dusk Till Dawn's going to be. That's pretty much where Evil Dead was last year, like the queue up for it. And, obviously, The Walking Dead is going to be in that area as well. So, yeah, New York's going to be pretty congested. Obviously, if you get a little bit, you can go end up towards Werewolf. And that's going to be, excuse me, showcasing something as well. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. And I would think that it's going to be a very congested area, and it's going to add to the congestion even more because some really awesome things are finding out about this. There's going to be an elegant woman ready to auction off the unsuspecting during this period of government-sanctioned lawlessness. So yes, the auctions from the Purge Anarchy will be taking place, and given the fact that they supposedly 86 the Sting Alley location for the geishas, I think that's probably where they're going to put the auction. I think that's a good idea. That's where they have the nice little auctions for the various victims that the purgers can purge in order to cleanse themselves, and I think that's probably going to be the case. Shout out to Timbo for coming up with that idea. So, yes, that's definitely what we had to look forward to. And this was also made after an announcement was made officially today that Jason Blum has signed a deal with Universal Pictures, and his company, Blumhouse, is going to be working with Universal for a long time to come. That means that there adds more credence to the possibility that if we get our original heavy year next year on 25 in Orlando, I really do think that what will end up happening in this case is the fact that we're going to be getting a very original heavy year with a couple of high-end IPs leading the way, as well as a few IPs that the fans really want. And of course, I can only be referring to stuff like Sinister and stuff like The Conjuring. I know Blum didn't do The Conjuring. James Wan did. But still, I think that it's a possibility that we're going to be getting some Blumhouse property that's going to be coming our way in 2015. So this is just the start, folks, of the collaboration between Universal and Jason Blum, which should work really well for John Murdy in Hollywood as well. And that actually is a segue, folks, because I'm going to talk about Hollywood's event. That was just Orlando that I was mentioning. Murdy hasn't really listed out much yet. I would guess that it was going to be kind of what we saw last year in Hollywood, which is awesomely brilliant in the front of the park. But this time, apparently, it's going to be on the Backlot, and you're going to also have various elements as well. I'm sure they're going to have machetes and chainsaws, and they're going to have the collaboration of masks from both movies, and you're going to have a Barker out front, which I'm sure we'll have in Orlando as well. Apparently, Hollywood is interested in taking guests out of their comfort zones. This is what Murdy said specifically. And the premise of the Purge could theoretically happen, so that scare zone will elevate our sense of fear, forcing you to really watch your back, simply imagining how your neighbor, your friend, or your enemy at one point could take revenge on you without any retribution whatsoever. It takes horror to a new level, and they wanted to bring this gut-wrenching terror to every single one of their guests. Will you survive the night? Now, there's another thing that was listed before I get done, and that was something that Mike Aiello tweeted about, and that was the fact that we're going to be getting motorcycles. So yeah, I was talking to some friends on Twitter recently, and basically I was thinking, I was like, what can we put in this scare zone? Obviously, it's going to be loud, it's going to be chaotic, pun intended. I would guess that the guy that was chained up to the building, I would think that probably is played out. I would think that we utilize the acid assault, like the mapping they did to make the buildings fall down, make the buildings crumble. I would say that that's probably going to be a countdown clock somewhere, if I had to guess. Chaos and Anarchy. I would say that most of the elements of the first two movies will probably be involved. There is a sniper that was involved in this movie, in Anarchy, but I don't think that happens because could you honestly imagine what kind of bad press it would be for Universal if they had a quote-unquote sniper on the roof shooting at people, even if it was like an airsoft gun without any pellets or anything like that, yeah, that wouldn't go over very well. But to see people on the streets getting accosted by purgers with guns, just shooting air at you, yeah, I get that. I think that's going to work pretty well. There's one other thing. Now, originally this year, like way early in speculation, several months ago, not even a couple months ago, like several months ago, we saw the Cary, Ohio school bus, as well as the Walker bomb truck from last year. And there was speculation from myself that they were going to be utilized in the Purge scare zone. And immediately I was like, that's going to happen. It has to happen. After watching Anarchy, the Walker bomb truck can be repurposed, and they could take the gun that was utilized in Resident Evil last year, the one that Nemesis used when he looked like the Toxic Avenger, and you put Big Daddy back there, and you just have him just shoot at people. Like, all of a sudden, at some point during the night, that the truck just shows up, and the doors just pop open, and he just unloads on people. Obviously, he's shooting air at you, but still, it's the same way that Resident Evil worked, but I think it'd be pretty awesome, and an awesome visual. You can obviously do special effects, and you can have the sound effects of the guns. This is going to be an extremely loud scare zone, and it's going to smell like exhaust. Why? Because something I thought that they would not do is utilize the motorbikes. And yeah, they're going to be purgers with motorbikes wearing black hoodies and creepy masks, and it's going to be awesome. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to work, given the fact that this is a very congested area anyway, and it was last year when it was, excuse me, when it was the fall of Atlanta for The Walking Dead. When you just had, in that entire area, you just had, like, walkers everywhere. This time, you're gonna have guys on motorcycles, and you're gonna probably have the Walker bomb truck with the guy with a gun in the back shooting at you. You're gonna have purgers with machetes and chainsaws. The CDT is gonna be out in full effect, and people are going to be just like attacking other people. So characters getting attacked by other characters is easily something we're gonna see. We're gonna see people get auctioned off to be killed. It's going to be totally awesome and totally chaotic. And another thing that I'm pretty sure it's going to have, given the fact that I saw it in Hollywood's video, and that is the fact that, yes, there will be the return of fire. Fire is a prevalent element in every single thing this year. As a matter of fact, if you look at the Horror Nights Orlando Twitter page, the background is a big wall of fire, and it says hashtag HHN24. So yes, that is definitely something that has been really prevalent throughout everything. The Walking Dead obviously has burned zombies, and From Dusk Till Dawn obviously has fire in the Twister, and I don't know about Face Off having fire, but I mean, it's not a maze, so it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, definitely there is going to be fire in the Purge, and fire shooting out from areas, and of course, you have the awesome Purge logo. And the new Founding Fathers of America, I'm sure that's going to be utilized somewhere. I think that, there you go, that's what we put on the side of the buildings, the logo of the new Founding Fathers, because obviously this is done for your own good. It's for the greater good, after all. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. That is what we're seeing. And no real announcement from John Murdy specifically on what they're going to get, but I'm going to guess, speculation-wise, they're going to get a little bit of that as well. So yeah, on both coasts, it looks like the Purge Anarchy is going to be a pretty fun time, to say the least. So, what do we got into this week? Well, Orlando's Universal Studios page, Universal Orlando's official Twitter feed, decided they wanted to send us out a stinger, potentially, for the rest of the week. Basically saying that we need to be aware that this is going to be a great week. Makes me believe by week's end, we're going to get an announcement. And an announcement that is going to make one specific friend of mine, i.e. Psycho Massacre Films, extremely happy. It didn't happen right away when there was the unfortunate let out over the week, and they kind of swept it under the rug, but I think that they pretty much can't ignore it anymore. What I think is going to happen before week's end, we're going to get our official announcement of Halloween coming to Halloween Horror Nights 24. And why not? Obviously, like I said before, the people that were in line for Diagon Alley already saw the Myers house facade, or the start of it, the bare bones. Now it looks massively humongous. And obviously we had the tweet that leaked out and everything that went on the official page that was taken down, obviously. People saw it on Instagram, people copied it over, so it can no longer be denied. Hollywood will most likely be announcing an American Werewolf in London by the time the week's over, and then I think what will end up happening is something that is very unique, and I think as of this coming August, next month, starting on August 11th and leading all the way up until August 15th, I believe is what it would be. Let me check a calendar. I have to check real close. Yes. Yes, obviously I can't do math, especially at 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, August 11th to the 15th, what I think is going to end up happening is going to be a co-reveal for both Halloween Horror Nights events in both Orlando and Hollywood. Because, if you believe speculation, there are still 2 shares to be announced. Which also means that there are several things to be announced as well for Hollywood. But I'm saying Hollywood and Orlando obviously don't have the same reveals because there's 2 shares that I see happening that I'm almost positive are going to happen at this point. And obviously we're skipping around for reveal week with Hollywood because what I think is going to happen when they release Werewolf, there's only going to be 3 more reveals left. 2 of which we share, 1 of which we don't. And I think that our first reveal, our co-branded reveal, is going to be Clown Heavy. I think that on the 13th, for the 10-year anniversary, they announce a co-reveal. And I think on August 15th, we get our official reveal of the final property of the year, if you believe that this property is still coming to Hollywood. And I still do at this point. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to have 3 reveals left to go after Werewolf, and we still have an entire week to go, which, like I said, the 2 shares, and then the 3 other, the original properties that are coming to our event as well. So that's what we're looking at right now, and once again, I await Dr. Jimmy to sing about Annie today, and I'm sure he will, and I think before too long, he's going to take us home. Show us where the Wiz is. I think, yeah, Annie and the Wiz will be performed by Dr. Jimmy before week's end. Both of them, I pretty much guaranteed at this point. But I can't really say for sure because, like I said, there's always a possibility that we might get a little Willy Wonka because I still believe that Jack announcement is coming. And if it doesn't get announced this week, and I think there's still a slight possibility it could happen, it will lead off your reveal week starting August 11th. I think August 11th will be the date that we announce the return of Jack the Clown, involved in a brand new, original clown factory, very steampunk, and the aforementioned scare zone that I was talking about, they haven't even mentioned, right in front of said clown factory in the disaster overflow queue. So yeah, while you're waiting for Rocky Horror, you could potentially be attacked by clowns. Awesome. Totally awesome. So, that's what we've got, and more speculation is now turned to pretty much bitter fact that Hollywood sounds like it is not getting the return of Bill and Ted this year. It takes one goof to ruin it for everyone. But Bill and Ted does have an anniversary coming up, and I think in a couple of years what they will do is they will let this completely wash off, and they will return with Bill and Ted with a vengeance. We're going to still get it in Orlando, because I know for a fact that people have already been cast for it. So Bill and Ted will return, Rocky Horror will return, and no Diagon Alley this year, unfortunately, so if you want to pay less money to get into Diagon Alley, well, do I have to bring the Possessed guy back again? I don't know if I can exactly, but you never know. I mean, he's injured. He's got an arm injury, so he's got some time to kill, so maybe he might return sometime sooner rather than later. So, that's what we have. That's officially our reveal for Hollywood and Orlando. The Purge Anarchy finally coming to Orlando and returning the Purge to Hollywood. So that's what we got for our video for today. And as soon as we find out about our Captain returning home, then I will shoot you out a video, or as soon as I find out there is a blue moon horizon in Los Angeles, I will gladly let you know about that as well. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, Mr. J will grace us with his presence before the week is over as well. If any of this happens, I will be out there first and foremost to shoot you guys a video and tell you all about it, just like I always do. So as always, if you haven't yet, go and follow Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood on Twitter. Follow John Murdy and the gang at Horror Nights. And if you'd like to follow the Orlando event, it is Halloween Horror Nights Orlando's Twitter feed. Follow Mike Aiello and the gang on Twitter at Horror Nights ORL. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, it's at scarezone. So yeah, we're all at it out here. So yes, as always, I want to shout out the awesome Horror Nights Updaters here all over YouTube. A lot of really awesome people you guys need to be checking out. Documo, which is the incredible Dr. Jimmy, my good friend John, Psycho Massacre Films, my good friend Vic, Dr. Emmett Brown 1, Admiral HHN and HHN Trogdor, HHN Fan 16, he has some great Hollywood videos, and he's doing a lot of great Orlando content. Shout out to my friend Tristan there. The Horror Nights Updaters themselves, my friend Neil, UKHHN, Mr. Horror Nights, the Thrill Seeker Network, the Red Steel TV, Deadly Fear 1283, the Crazy Englishman, Jeremy Films with 2 Z's, the HHN Phantom, and HHN Fanboy. So shout out to all those channels. Check those guys and girls out there, and enjoy Halloween Horror Nights this year on whichever coast you may be able to attend. So, that being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Follow me on Twitter at scarezone. Like me on Facebook, our Facebook fan page at scarezone. Send me a friend request on Facebook at Owen Disney. If you want to email me and ask me about my ideas for Halloween Horror Nights 25, or if you want to talk Horror Nights with me in general, ask me specific questions I couldn't answer on here for good reason, or if you'd like to just talk wrestling with me, or Disney, or Universal, just send me an email, scarezone@gmail.com. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Remember to always stay safe, and this is for the greater good of everyone. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.